Hi everyone, I'm Ibrahim and I'm excited to show you how we used Lumi to optimize carrier selection for one of our 3PL clients. So first thing we did was just a bit of a sanity check, confirm that the approach we're looking to do makes sense to Lumi, which it did validate it. And just for reference, the approach was all about finding lanes where the most commonly used carrier actually underperforms the global average in terms of on-time percentage across all carriers for that lane. Asked Lumi to kind of proceed with the analysis, and within a few seconds, I got a table output along with a summary of findings. Now, I usually like to validate the approach. I do that by toggling concise mode off, and I can see kind of the inner workings over here. So I can see how my prompt was rephrased initially. I can see the context that was pulled from the knowledge base and was kind of made available to Lumi. And that's kind of what informed the explanation and assumptions, as well as the actual code that it generated to render this report. Can kind of read through them over here, but everything made sense to me. So I kind of opted to proceed with the analysis. So I'll toggle this back over here. Now, what I noticed is that, hey, we seem to be filtering on only, exceptions, which make sense, right? In terms of the fact that, hey, like the on-time percentage for the most common carrier here is 0%, and then the global on-time percentage for this lane was about 60%. But it's pretty low volume, right? We're working off of small data sets here, 2 or 3 order lines and things like that. So not really useful. And so what I asked Lumi to do next was kind of just filter on just the shipments or the lanes that have the most shipment volume, right? Because that's what I said. I was like, noticing that these lanes have low volume, can you filter to only include lanes that are in the top 10% of shipment volume? And now we got data that's a lot more actionable, I would say. Because what we can see here is that, hey, for this lane over here, UPS is the most common carrier, and we've been getting about 10% in terms of on-time percentage there, but the global average for on time is about 51%. And so, clearly UPS is underperforming all other carriers for this particular lane. And so this is fairly interesting. And again, we're only highlighting the lanes that have the most volume. Now, the final thing that I did, I was like, hey, can you add 2 extra columns? What I want to see as well is the carrier with the highest on-time percentage and the name of that carrier as well. And so what we were able to see over here is that, again, for this UPS example, it's for this lane, it's the most used carrier for this lane. It's currently underperforming, has about a 10% on-time percentage. The global average is about 51%. But the best carrier for this lane is actually Purelator, which seemingly has about 100% in terms of on-time percentage. And so clearly just the recommendations would be for these lanes, you should switch from the most common carrier, in this case Purelator, to UPS, or in this case from UPS to Purelator, and so on and so forth. And just as simple as just having a few questions, a few prompts with Lumi, and you're now able to really focus in on tangible ways to optimize carrier selection and improve the end user experience. Hope this was useful. Thanks again for watching.